Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 27th of February 2020 to talk about everything that went down today on WWE Super Showdown. And I thought this show, I didn't hate it. I'll say that right now. I didn't hate the show, but I didn't think there was anything extra special about the show. I didn't think there was anything that was like, oh my god, if you missed this, you need to go watch this. But at the same time, I felt like, it was easy to watch. It really was. We got some new champions. We had history made with Bayley defending her title and whatnot. But before we get into all that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here. And let's see who's with us in the live chat. We do have Henry Cavallo, Warped World, Dontrell Bailey, Adam, Voltage Dylan, Kristen McNutt, Nivd Yelich, Firelord Zoku, Sinclair Saturday, Derek Bocek, Goat God, Blake Carter, and so many more of you. We also got Nicholas Altamore and Jason Dalton. I want to say thank you guys for joining me here on I guess you could say Thursday afternoon. For most of you, it's really afternoon. For me, it's barely noon, 12:45 here in California. But with that, let's jump into it and talk about everything that took place at Super Showdown. So the action really kicked off on the pre-show. It was Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson defeating the War Raiders, or the Viking Raiders, I mean. I don't know why I said War Raiders. Hell, go way back and call them War Machine. But anyways, they defeated the Viking Raiders. It was an okay match. I thought this was just, whatever. It was on the pre-show. Most people probably didn't even catch this match because I did see a lot of people on Twitter getting in. They said that they started the pre-show when this match is just ending because they didn't realize about the pre-show. Because WWE, usually they say, okay, the show starts at this time with a pre-show this time. They usually do that. But they didn't tout the pre-show this time for some reason. Usually it's like, oh, WWE Royal Rumble, the start time of da-da-da-da-da-da, and the kickoff show at whatever, But for this show, it was just like, we're starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. They didn't even tout the pre-show. So, whatever. It was all good. Basically, at the end, Ivar took out Anderson on the apron as Ivar went for a moonsault. But Anderson dodged just in time. Anderson and Gallows then connected with a magic killer. And that was it. Basic tag team match that, got the action flowing, going for the beginning of the show. So then we had the main card that was kicked off with the Gauntlet Match. So the Gauntlet Match consisted of R-Truth, Bobby Lashley, Andrade, Eric Rowan, AJ Styles, and Rey Mysterio as advertised. So the first match in the Gauntlet Match was R-Truth and Bobby Lashley. This was actually a Raw rematch. Truth tried to mount Lashley early with punches in the corner, but Lashley threw him off and sent him into the floor. Lashley hit a vertical power slam, to put Truth in a sleeper. Truth conquered with one of his own, then followed this up with a shoulder block. Lashley cut him off and went for the Dominator, but Truth hit a blue thunder bomb, channeling his inner childhood hero, John Cena. Truth then hit a 5-knuckle shuffle and tried to go for the AA, but Lashley escaped. Lashley then hit a flatliner. Lashley went to charge at Truth, and Truth went to charge at Truth in the corner, and Truth ducked, sending Lashley into the post. Truth then cradled Lashley. 1, 2, 3. Surprise win. There you go. R-Truth picking up that fluke out of nowhere victory. Cool. Next up, Andrade. Good to see the U.S. champion Andrade back after serving his 30-day suspension. Andrade immediately attacked R-Truth. Well, actually, I digress. I forgot to mention. After Lashley was beat, he was upset about that. He was pissed. He was raged. He took out Truth at ringside. He beat Truth down, sending him into the ring post. Lashley then took Truth into the ring and speared him. Truth ended up bleeding. Looked like he may have cut his cheek. So going forward, Andrade came out. Andrade immediately attacked Truth, stomping all over him. Andrade went for a cover, but Truth kicked out. Andrade went for a hammerlock DDT, and Truth kept fighting out. Andrade then went for a running knee in the corner. And, well, Truth moved out of the way. And, Andrade took a mean bump to the outside. He literally just dove right into it, hit his knee on the top turnbuckle, tumbled over the top rope, landed tailbone first on the floor. That looked bad, but he got right up. He was okay. Truth started to make a comeback, hit a corkscrew crossbody. The two then collided in the ring at the same time with a headbutt. Truth then fell on top of Andrade. 1, 2, 3, bada boom. There you go. Truth advances again in the kickoff or in the gauntlet match. Next out would come Eric Rowan, cage and all. The Truth sent Rowan to the floor and connected with a plancha. Rowan countered and sent Truth into the steel steps, knocking over whatever in his cage. Rowan was unhappy with this, put the cage into the ring, and then repeatedly beat down on Truth before hitting Truth with the steel steps. He hit Truth with the steps. Referee called for the disqualification. Truth flukes into another win, keeps on going. I honestly thought, all right, Ray comes out. Somehow Truth beats Ray. It's Truth AJ in the end, and there we go from there. But I was a little wrong with that. It was AJ Styles. AJ Styles mocked our Truth for a little while, dancing and yelling at him, saying, hey, Truth, come get me, come at me. Hey, what's going on? And I also forgot to mention, just like with Bobby Lashley, after Truth beat Rowan gave him a claw slam. So AJ came down, like I said, mocked our Truth, made fun of him. Basically just every time Truth would try to get up and throw a punch, AJ would either move or kick him in the gut. Finally, AJ locked on the calf crusher, and, well, our Truth had no choice but to tap out. So AJ's happy here. AJ's ecstatic, over the moon, some may say, when Rey Mysterio's music plays not once, but twice, and he never comes out. So finally, we end up seeing in the back Rey Mysterio shown being beat down by the OC's Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. AJ grabs a mic and says, Little Ray isn't coming out here. Declare me the winner. I'm like, Little Ray? He's like your height, if not maybe an inch shorter. Anyways, the referee goes, I'm not doing that. No. He goes over to Mike Rome and says, ring the bell. Ring the bell to declare me the winner right now. And Mike Rome's just like, I only do what the ref tells me. So finally, AJ gets in the ring. The ref goes, fine. Let me talk to Mike Rome. So the referee goes, talks to Mike Rome. Mike Rome announces that referee's discretion. If AJ Styles' opponent cannot come out by the 10 count, AJ will win by forfeit. Winner of the gauntlet match. So let's start going 1. AJ's playing it up. 2, 3. They get all the way to 6. Camera cuts. Karl Anderson gets thrown into frame. Feels like, or he's holding his throat like he was just choked. Gallows gets thrown into frame. You got the camera down, pan down on both of those guys, and then all of a sudden, feet come in. It's the Undertaker walking into frame, but you only see his legs, feet, knees down. Crowd erupts. Lights go out, music plays, out comes the Undertaker. You hear Michael Cole. Michael Cole goes, the reports are true. Corey Graves goes, yes, the reports are true. It had been reported that the Undertaker was spotted in Saudi Arabia. No, he didn't say Saudi Arabia. My bad. Spotted at Super Showdown. That he was going to be here at Super Showdown, which is weird because they wouldn't say he was spotted in Saudi Arabia, but later they said they were in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So it was weird. And so Undertaker slowly makes his way out there about 20,000 minutes later. I mean, it felt so long. About, 4 or 5 minutes later, he comes down to the ring. AJ gets in his face, pokes him in the chest like, hey, what are you doing? Get out of here. I'm the winner. You're not supposed to be in this match. No. Finally, Undertaker grabs him, herks him up, choke slam. Undertaker goes, does the tombstone pin. 1, 2, 3. AJ's beat. Undertaker wins the gauntlet match. Okay, so this is supposed to be setting up AJ versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. Now, I would have been okay with this if Undertaker just chokeslammed him and that was it. But Undertaker chokeslammed him and pinned him after AJ did nothing against Truth. AJ was at 99%. I mean, AJ may have been a little winded from mocking Truth. But how are we supposed to think that at WrestleMania, AJ Styles and Undertaker's was to be an easy competition, or a competitive competition. When Undertaker came out here, chokeslammed AJ, bada boom, pinned him, one move. I know what you're going to say. Well, AJ's going to be more ready at WrestleMania. AJ's going to fight back, blah, blah, blah. Okay, maybe you can say that. But again, Undertaker hit one move. And it wasn't like AJ was already tired, winded, and beat down from the last match. No. All he did was dance and make fun of Truth and put him in the calf crusher. So, with that, Undertaker then panders to the crowd for a moment, goes over to the trophy, looks at it, and then walks away. Undertaker won the Gauntlet Match. You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. Undertaker won the Gauntlet Match. So next up, we see the New Day in the back. They talked about the tag team title match against John Morrison and The Miz coming up. They promised to get a victory just like The Undertaker. So the next up, we did have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match also. If you guys want to give me your thoughts on today's show, Super Showdown, you can do so by either texting to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. Or you can put a super chat or a super sticker in the comments, in the live chat, and that will guarantee that your comment, your question, your concern, whatever in the live chat does get read. Again, you can text into 510-906-1341, or you can send a super chat right here in the live chat. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we had the New Day defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against John Morrison and The Miz. So Big E started off against The Miz using his power as the advantage before Morrison got tagged in and dropped Big E into the ring ropes. Morrison follows up with the corkscrew plancha to the floor. Miz worked over Big E in the ring after getting tagged back in, drop kicking him in the leg. He took Big E to the corner and tagged Morrison back in. A lot of quick tag team action here by Miz and Morrison. They worked very well together. Morrison then connected with a springboard kick. Big E took a chance to throw a charging Morrison into the floor and dropped The Miz. Kofi then got the hot tag and ran wild on Morrison with a nice comeback. Morrison came back with a spinning knee. Morrison went for the moonlight drive, but Kingston countered with an SOS for a near fall. New Day then laid out Morrison with a suplex foot stomp combo. Miz would finally tag back in. He was taking on Big E at this point, hit him with a DDT, and then the Daniel Bryan yes kicks, or as he likes to call them, the it kicks. Morrison tagged back in. After a double team move, Morrison went for a Starship Pain on Big E, but Big E moved out of the way. The New Day then gained control and planted Morrison with the Midnight Hour, but Miz broke up the pin at the last second. Kofi then went for a trust fall onto Miz on the outside, and Miz just moved right out of the way. Kofi crashed to the floor, and that looked like it probably hurt more than that Andrade bump. Miz then went back into the ring and laid out Big E with a skull-crushing finale, only got a near fall. Big E then dodged Miz's charge into the corner, tagged Kofi, who rolled up Miz for a near fall. On the outside, Morrison hit Kofi in the back with a steel chair. No, I think it was it was in the back of the gut. I can't remember now. I wrote it down his back, but I think it might have been gut. Anyways, Kofi gets hit in the gut or the back, whatever, with a steel chair. Miz then rolls him up, grabs the tights, bada boom. There we go. New tag team champions, The Miz and Morrison. First time in, I want to say, 11 years that Miz and Morrison are tag team champions together. Miz has been tag team champions with other people, like Shane McMahon and The Big Show, but this is the first time that he's a tag team champion yet again with his very, very, very close pal, John Morrison. I thought this match was really fun. I thought there was a lot of just great action by all four men. I thought all four men worked perfect together, and we'll see where this leads to going forward. So Seth Rollins was interviewed backstage. He said the moral vision of the Street Profits were a little off kilter. He agreed that they're great athletes, but they just don't know how to, what's the word he said, conduct themselves. He said it's a matter of destiny that the threat of the Street Profits will be eradicated along the way. So So next up, we had Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo. These two are always great together. They've been working for years against each other. So, I mean, it's what's the word I'm looking for? No coincidence, I guess you could say. It's not a shocker that these two always have good matches together. So Carrillo connected with some kicks early, then an arm drag. The arm drag sent Garza to the outside. He took out Garza with a Hurricane Rana on the floor and then hit a Tope Suicida, sending Garza into the barricade. Garza got the heat and ripped off his pants. Garza then told the quiet crowd to shut up about 3 times. The crowd really wasn't into this early on. Carrillo escaped Garza's holds and connected with another kick. Then a springboard kick for a 2. On the top rope, Garza jumped to the floor, then dropkicked Carrillo, who was running off the top rope. Garza hit a super kick, but Carrillo connected with a right and then a destroyer. The two exchanged near falls until Garza simply sat down and pinned Carrillo. They were just exchanging, and then all of a sudden, Carrillo gets pinned. So Angel Garza does pick up the victory. These two will be in the ring again against each other this Monday on Raw when they are in tag team action. It will be Carrillo and Rey Mysterio taking on the team of Humberto Carrillo. No, I'm all kinds of confused. Sorry about that. On Raw, it will be Rey Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo against Andrade and Angel Garza. And here's a thought that I had. With Angel Garza and Andrade teaming together, both seemingly managed by Zelina Vega, why not make them the new LWO and let Andrade bring like a version of Los Ingobernables to WWE with him, Garza, and maybe one other Latino star you have? I think that could be really fun, really cool. You have this heel Latino group. You can call them the NWO because you've got the name, but they can be kind of like akin to what Andrade used to do with Rush in Los Ingobernables. So Bayley was interviewed backstage. She says she's making history tonight, just like every other time in her career. She will prove that she's the most dominant women's champion that's ever lived on Smackdown. And, well, as we saw later, she delivered. Next up, tag team match, or tag team title match. Raw Tag Team Championships on the line. Rollins and Seth Rollins and Murphy taking on the Street Profits. I thought this match was good, but I expected better. Profits started things off by taking down the champions with drop kicks. Ford kicked Rollins on the apron, but Murphy shoved Ford into the announce table, giving them the control. Seth keeps the heat on Ford, hitting a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Buckle Bomb kick combo followed up. Ford finally escaped and got the hot tag to Dawkins. Well, the crowd made zero reaction when Dawkins got tagged in, though. Yeah, and I'm like, ooh. Do they not like Seth? Do they not like Murphy? Do they not like the Street Profits? Excuse me. So Ford got tagged back in not long after. He hit a massive frog splash. His new thing is, look at my vertical leap off the top rope. He's got a hell of a vertical leap off that top rope. Only got a 2 off of it, though. Dawkins then threw Murphy into the announce table as the Street Profits went for a double team on Rollins, but he escaped. Murphy and Rollins went for a double pedigree, where the Profits countered into stereo DDTs. Ford went for a tope conjillo to the floor, but Rollins and Murphy grabbed him and threw him into the barricade. Really cool spot there, where he did the flip dive, they caught him, and he just right into the barricade. Dawkins took out both men, though, on the outside and threw Murphy back into the ring. Murphy distracted the referee just long enough for Seth Rollins to connect with the stomp on the apron. This allowed Murphy to cover Angelo Dawkins and pin him, retaining the Raw Tag Team Championships. Predictable. I assumed that they would be retaining their championships. The non-existent crowd slowly started to stumble around. Again, crowd didn't really care about this match, and maybe that's what took me out of this as well, that the crowd really didn't care about this match as well. So then in a shocking turn of events, the hometown boy, Mansoor, got booed in Saudi Arabia against Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler came out to a mixed reaction, and Mansoor came out to a, 80-20, 90-10 boo to cheer ratio. More boos for Mansoor than cheers. So before the match started, Ziggler was out there with Robert Roode, and they berated Mansoor before the bell. Mansoor drop-kicked Roode after Roode shoved him. Referee then said, we don't want any of that. Roode, you're out. Ziggler then started things off with a headlock. Mansoor countered with one of his own and hit a shoulder block. He then hit a standing moonsault. Ziggler connected with an elbow for the heat, dragging Mansoor's face on the top rope and connecting with a jumping elbow. Ziggler continued to dominate, posting Mansoor, then diving on him then hitting him with a suplex. Mansoor fired back with an elbow, dodged a famouser, and connected with a kick on the apron, and followed this up with a springboard neck breaker. Mansoor then hit a slam and went to the top rope, but Ziggler crotched him. He motioned for the super kick, but Mansoor countered into an inside cradle. Mansoor then continued to fight back, landing a cool-looking inverted sliced bread into a DDT, followed with a moonsault for the victory. And this moonsault, I hope Dolph's okay, because this moonsault was just the points of Mansoor's knees right into the gut abdomen area of Dolph. Knocked all the wind right out of him, probably. Like, Dolph may have been just a little too far out for Mansoor. Mansoor barely got, the knees and the calves on Dolph. Crowd kind of popped when Mansoor won, and then that was it. Mansoor then thanked the crowd, saying that their voices carried him through this and gave him the hope. When he stepped into the ring last year, they proved that Saudi Arabia was ready to have their first WWE superstar. And then he proved that they're here to stay. Mansoor spoke a little bit in Arabic at the beginning and end of the promo, and the crowd just wasn't into Mansoor. Again, like I said, more boos than cheers for the hometown boy. So then next up, we did get a Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet. Basically, match went less than a minute. Lesnar drilled Ricochet with some German suplexes, lifted him up, F5, pinned him. I mean, if this match went 60 seconds, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if someone actually timed it out, because I didn't go back and officially time it out. I just looked and was like, oh, this was less than a minute. But I'd be shocked if this even went 60 seconds. I'd be shocked if this went 45, 50 seconds. So Ricochet's career's over? Done? I mean, I don't know what to say about this. You got Paul Heyman, who likes Ricochet, who wants to push Ricochet, and then he has Brock just kill him. Sure. I don't know about this. So next up, we had a cage match that the crowd didn't care about. Again, crowd not caring about these matches really hurt the show. I thought most of these matches were good. Or at least good. But the crowd was just like, what the hell? Kristen McNutt in the live chat says, why is WWE holding the NXT on March 11th from the Performance Center? Easy. Because they can't use Full Sail. That week is Full Sail Hall of Fame week, and they need the arena. They need the auditorium, whatever you want to call it, for Hall of Fame stuff. And WWE can't use it. This is something that's been going on for many, many, many years. And usually WWE just schedules their NXT tapings around it. And there you go. But this year, because everything's live every single week, you can't tape in advance. Or at least they don't want to tape in advance. So they're going to do something cool. They're going to do Fan Appreciation Night from the WWE Performance Center. So if you are in Orlando and you want to go to NXT, they said that it's first come, first serve. Show up early. Because they're not buying tickets. They're not putting tickets on sale in advance. There's no advance ticket deal. It's you get there. If there's a seat, they'll let you in. If they're at capacity, they're not going to let you in. And they haven't. They also haven't said when or how many people they're gonna let in. Edward Prayer says, should the WWE stars be introduced in the Sonic movie sequel? What? What does WWE have anything to do with the Sonic movie? I saw the Sonic movie. There's no WWE in that. At least not that I noticed. I don't know why you would think that there needs to be a WWE tie into the Sonic movie. WWE's never done anything with Sonic. I don't even know if WWE's ever done anything with Sega, to be completely honest. Like, was there even a WWE game on Sega? WWE Sega. There might have been. Yeah, okay, WWF Royal Rumble was on the Sega Genesis, and WWF WrestleMania was on the Sega Genesis. But that doesn't mean that you need to have a WWE tie-in to the Sonic movie. What the fuck? Yeah, Dontrell Bayley, Hall of Fame week at Full Sail is March 8th through the 13th. Correct. Like I stated, that whole week is Hall of Fame week. They do a butt ton of cool things. Like, they do a lot of cool events for the current and alumni students. They also bring in some of their most successful students and basically award them. Or what's the word I'm looking for? Not award. Well, I guess you could say award them. But they also acknowledge their success since graduating from Full Sail. It's something great that they do. Oh, yeah, you're right. Perp Soul says he asked because the movie sponsored Raw last week. You're right there. But that doesn't mean anything. Just because they sponsored WWE doesn't mean anything. Sonic Drive-In sponsors WWE. Does that mean we need to go see WWE toys at Sonic? I mean, they do toys at Carl Jr. already. But anyways. A2B, if you want to see Nick's face, just go check one of our past podcasts. I think the Nick and Tim Show episode 101, Nick is on that one. Plus, if you check out any of our vlogs, either from Las Vegas last year where we went to Double or Nothing and StarCast, or when we went to the New Japan shows in 2018, you can see Nick's face on there as well. Next up, we had, like I said, Roman Reigns versus King Corbin inside of a steel cage. This match was, again, good but not great. Roman came down with a chain. And when referee Stu Bennett locked the cage, we'll put the pin in the cage. Roman then used that chain and his own lock to lock the cage. Then he put the key in his pocket, and I go, oh, that key's going to come into play. So right off the bat, before the bell even rings, Corbin attacks Roman Reigns, and he tries to go for the key, but he couldn't get it. Corbin then tries to escape the cage by climbing over, but Roman stopped him. At one point, Corbin finds the key, and he's free to unlock the chain. He unlocks the door, but Roman catches him before he can actually go out the door. Excuse me. Corbin tried to crawl out, but Roman slammed his head into the door, or slammed the door into his head, pulled it in. Roman then went for a Superman punch, but Corbin countered with a chokeslam. Corbin grabbed the chain nearby and wrapped it around his fist, mocking Roman Reigns, trying to go for a Superman punch of his own, but Roman hit one instead. Corbin then finds the opening and tries to escape out of the ring. Reigns catches him as the two exchange punches on the top of the cage. Corbin dragged him back into the cage and threw him his head first into the cage. Roman responded by crotching Corbin on the ropes. Reigns then grabbed the chain, hit a Superman punch, pinned him. There you go. This is good. Could have been better. I felt like it may have been. Now, I felt like it could have gone a little bit longer and there could have been more build-up in this match to fighting at the top of the cage. Roman almost climbing out, but Corbin got... I thought you could have built up to that a little bit more. So I thought if they would have added another 2-3 minutes to this match, to the front end of not fighting at the top of the cage so quickly, it would have been better. Again, crowd, almost non-existent. They did not care for this match at all. And then we move in to Bayley and Naomi, where they were a little more into this match than other matches that we've seen throughout the night. It was Bayley defending the Smackdown Women's Championship against Naomi. Before we get into that, I do got a couple of text messages I do want to read. This person here to state What do you see the Fiend going now after losing the Universal Championship? I feel the gimmick is kind of dead now, and I've heard he's likely facing John Cena. As of this week, as of coming out of the last 2 or 3 days, plan John Cena Fiend. WrestleMania 30 rematch. Person says, was it the right move of Vince putting the title on Goldberg? I wasn't happy with that finish because it destroys the Fiend character. I'll talk about that when we get to it. I have some thoughts on why they would have done that. Again, this person says, can you explain how old man can't hit the jackhammer properly? We'll talk about that. Another question about the Fiend should have won. And this person says, do you think it's going to be Fiend versus Cena, Roman versus Goldberg now at Mania? That's what's being reported. And we'll talk more about that once we do get to that match here. So, Bayley, again, defends her title against Naomi. I thought this match was really good. Bayley controlled things early on. Naomi made a comeback, sending Bayley to the floor and landing outside with a big plancha. Actually, a corkscrew plancha. Bayley got the heat after attacking Naomi on the apron and threw her into the barricade. Bayley had the heat for a while until Naomi made a comeback, followed up with some kicks. She then followed this up with a springboard kick. Naomi springboarded and hit a clothesline. Naomi then went for a full Nelson, but Bayley clipped her leg and hit a back suplex. Naomi went for a drive-by, but Bayley escaped and hit a running knee in the corner. Naomi then hit an enziguri as Bayley made it to the top rope, but missed the springboard moonsault. Bayley then used Naomi's shirt that she was wearing to trap her leg and then ram her face first into the floor, kind of like her little move that she does kind of deal, her new heel finisher. With Bayley planting Naomi face first into the mat, she then rolled her over, pinned her, 1, 2, 3. Hey, this match wasn't bad. The crowd was actually more into this than Roman and Corbin and Brock and Ricochet. Just going to say that. They were more into this than Mansoor, the hometown boy. So, Bayley retains. They make history, first women's championship match in Saudi Arabia. Then, we got Goldberg and The Fiend. Both men make their way out to the ring. Mike Rome does the ring announcements saying, your challenger, Bill Goldberg, your champion, your defending champion, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. And this did not last long. Goldberg speared Wyatt right at the bell. He then hit 3 more spears. But Wyatt rose up every time. After the first spear, he put Goldberg in the mandible claw. Goldberg fought out. Goldberg then barely, and I mean barely, landed this damn jackhammer. Like he struggled to, he's got freaking Bray like this, and he tries to pull him up, and nothing happens. He tries to pull him up, nothing happens. So then you see Bray kind of brace himself on Goldberg. Finally, Goldberg gets him over, can't just hold him up, he just floats him right over. Barely gets this goddamn jackhammer, pins him a 1, 2, 3. The crowd in Saudi Arabia seemed happy to see Goldberg win, but fuck, Goldberg's your new Universal Champion. Here's my thought. The rumored match is Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns wins the Elimination Chamber. Then he gets to challenge Goldberg at WrestleMania for the championship. There you go. With WWE looking to possibly have WrestleMania on ESPN+, The Fiend versus Roman Reigns is not a marquee match that ESPN would think would sell buy rates or sell pay-per-views, would get new eyeballs on ESPN+ for WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, Bill Goldberg, that is a mainstream match that people would be interested in because Roman Reigns is the current guy that a lot of people know about. And if you don't know about him, you're going to know about him because they're going to tell you a million times probably, hey, this guy in the main event, that's The Rock's cousin. That's The Rock's family. Watch The Rock's cousin in the main event. Against who? The champion? Bill Goldberg. You know Bill Goldberg. That same Bill Goldberg from the 90s in WCW. That same Bill Goldberg that was in The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler. That same Bill Goldberg that's had many, many car shows on television. That same Bill Goldberg that does announcing at NASCAR and Bristol Motor Speedway. So I think, to be honest, the reason we're going Goldberg versus Roman Reigns is because to a more mainstream audience, this is the match that they would be more interested in. Because if you promote Roman Reigns versus The Fiend on ESPN, on SportsCenter, on First Take, on whatever. And people say, who's this creepy clown looking guy in the mask? I don't want to see that. That to the non-wrestling fan, they're going to think, oh, that's just wrestling fake bullshit looking stuff. But when you've got two guys that look like Roman Reigns and Bill Goldberg, they're going to think, oh, those are two meatheads that are going to fucking blow each other up and just crash into one another and have a damn good match, apparently, supposedly. So if that's my thinking of, that's my feeling of why you would go Roman Reigns, Bill Goldberg. For the simple fact of, to the mainstream audience, that would seem like a main event caliber match. Not the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and they would think, oh, that's stupid wrestling stuff. A man in a spooky clown looking mask, a creepy mask and dreadlocks. So that's my thinking on it, and why I believe that that's why they're going with Goldberg and not the Fiend. Also, I found it funny that Goldberg celebrating in the ring, and Michael Cole goes, Corey, do you think that Goldberg will show up tomorrow in Boston with his new championship? And Corey Graves literally says, well, he has to. It's not like this is a part-time job. My first thought goes, Corey, Brock Lesnar's a part-time guy that shows up barely. Idiot. So, that was Super Showdown, guys. That was the show. WWE Super Showdown from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I thought it was an okay show. I didn't think it was that bad of a show, other than the crowd really didn't care. And it was a smaller crowd than normal, to be honest. It was a smaller crowd than they normally have in Saudi Arabia, because they went to a way smaller building. They made it look like a big deal, but when you really look at it, that crowd, there was no, I guess it sounded like a small crowd because it was a small crowd. I don't know the numbers of how many people were actually there, but we'll see. Do have a couple more text messages before we do wrap things up. This person here states, the Fiend should have won. Let me move this over here. Person here states, the Fiend should have won because it would have done wonders for his character. It could prove that not even a legend could beat him. Bray would have much more momentum if he had an over year-long title reign, because that would have made the Fiend... No. I think the Fiend character was dead after the first Seth match in the Hell in a Cell, when A, they ended a Hell in a Cell match by referee stoppage, and B, he did the whole, you can hit me with your move a million times and you can't pin me. So, I haven't liked the Fiend character since the Hell in a Cell match, to be completely honest. This person here asked about an NXT and AEW review. So, let me get this out of the way. Last night, I went and met with some people. I can't say anything yet, but we've got a really cool project in the works here for the PW Unlimited YouTube channel. And the meeting I had went way longer than I expected last night, talking about this plan and this new video, possible video series. So, there was not an AEW review last night. I'm going to probably do it tonight and then maybe do the NXT review tomorrow morning. But probably tonight I will do the AEW review, because I got back way later than I expected last night. Watched AEW and go, if I do the review now, no one's going to watch. And I can't do it in the morning because there's not enough time for Super Showdown. So I'm going to try and do the AEW review tonight, NXT review tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Person here asks, how long you think Bray will keep the Fiend character after losing to Goldberg? I mean, he can keep it for as long as he wants. It doesn't really matter. I mean, he got beat. He was going to get beat eventually. Do you think Ronda Rousey should face Bayley at WrestleMania? I don't think so. I think they could build up a challenger coming out of the Elimination Chamber, and there's your SmackDown Women's title match. Person here asks, your thoughts on China Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania? It doesn't matter who they name it after, to be completely honest. They don't even need to name it after anybody. It's just a Battle Royal. You give it a name, cool. Whoop-de-doo. And then another person says, another question about the Fiend and his gimmick. I think he can be the Fiend for as long as he wants. Yeah, he's not going to be as dominant anymore. No one's going to... I mean, you could still be spooky and scary, but it's not going to be like, oh, crap. I'm going to go in there and I have to give more than 100% to beat the Fiend. Because we saw Goldberg couldn't give 100%, could barely get that jackhammer, and defeated the Fiend. So, I don't know. But I want to say thank you guys for joining me here today to talk about WWE Super Showdown. I want to thank everybody who joined and watches it later right here on YouTube, and everybody who listens on podcast services all around the world like iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so many more. Again, I'm going to try and be live tonight around 7 Pacific, 8 Pacific for the AEW Dynamite review from this week. And then tomorrow we will be doing the NXT review in the morning maybe, and then Smackdown tomorrow night, AEW Revolution on Saturday. So we've got a number of live streams coming for you guys. Plus, always remember, I'm doing more video game streaming on my Twitch as well, twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. If you guys want to go over, follow me there. Help me grow that channel as well, as I'll be doing a lot more video game streams over there. So, hey, plenty of ways to follow me for content, whether if it's wrestling related, whether it's video game related. And, hey, if you're on my Twitch and you want to talk wrestling while I'm playing games, I'm down. I'm down to talk about anything while I'm playing games on Twitch. So with that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here today. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you later.